Hey everyone, this is the Black Manga Critic here with another video for Manga Monday. Normally I try to do one video on Manga Monday, but I'm going to try to do more videos as I get more comfortable, when making the videos, and wanting to review chapters of manga that, I generally like, and it seems that The Promised Neverland tends to come out later than the other ones. So I figured I'd do that. I do The Promised Neverland on Mondays. But if there are other manga that you want, like I said, if there are other manga that you want me to review, that you think I probably like, let me know, and I'll happily do that. So let's get into The Promised Neverland, chapter 46, I believe. It might be 48, but I believe it's chapter 46. But basically, it's a pretty good chapter. It's not, a chapter that really knocks your socks off in that way, but it does prep you for what's about to come, right? Emma and Ray approach these two new characters that we've been introduced to, Sung Ju and Musica, right? And they want to ask them what's up with the real world, what happened in the past that led up to these demons either taking over, or maybe humans evolved into demons in some sense as a way of experimentation or something like that. I have ideas, but generally, what happened? Why is the world the way it is now? Right. So we're probably going to get some of that in the next chapter. But in terms of this chapter, I think one thing that Shirai does really well is that he again, the pacing is really important, and he does that. He sort of brings it to a crawl, like a painfully slow crawl, right? Where we want to know who these people are, where they came from, and all of these things. And it's just taking so much time within this one chapter to just reveal themselves, right? Like Ray and Emma are just panicking, and as they're panicking, we're panicking. We're trying to figure out, are they good? Are they good people? Are they bad people? Are they morally complex? Are they leaning towards good? Are they leaning towards bad? Right, in that sense. And as we find out, they are, they consider themselves, or people considered them to be demons at one point, right? So maybe at one point they were eating, human brains and limbs and things of that nature, and other, living things. But now, they're apparently particularly religious, right? And they don't eat human beings at all. But as Sungju tells us, they will, not hesitate to eat anything else, and that sort of tells you a couple of things, right? One, we should probably be on the lookout for him, because the only thing that's holding him back from eating the children is religion, right? And if you have friends and people who maybe were religious at one point, but maybe they switched to another religious affiliation, or they just said screw it, I'm gonna do the atheist thing or the agnostic thing, whatever. People move back and forth between religious affiliations all the time. So who's to say that this guy is just gonna be like, what? I really want a human brain, and screw this religion thing, right? So this guy really isn't to be trusted, right? One, because Shirai has really sort of told us that demons really rule the world, and anytime you are interacting with a group of people who are in power, you should be wary, right? You don't have to be so wary that you end up like Emma and panic, but in this world, and you panic really intensely. But in this world, that is the Promised Neverland, panic's gonna save your life, and that's why Ray and Emma are really they're stiff as boards, they're oh my god, we gotta get out of here, they're gonna eat us, right? So they have to get so that's their line of thinking, as it should be. But Musica seems like a really nice person, right? She seems very disinterested in eating humans at all. She's really hell-bent on making sure that the children, right, including Emma and Ray, trust her and Sungju, right? So I think as a character, she's interesting because, we know shonen series tend to have characters who come off as really, really trustworthy, and then, flip, right? Like they, like a sort of Janus kind of figure, right? A two-headed god sort of figure where, 1 second they're, hello, and the other second they're like, oh my god, I need to kill you right now, right? Like, we've seen this before. So so we know that as readers, we're going to be on the lookout. Like, we're not going to be fooled by this, like, by what may be an act by Musica. I think the thing that's probably most interesting about this chapter is Emma, right? We see, again, like, Shirai is really great about showcasing Emma's different sides, right? And shifts of emotional states, right? At one point, Emma is, very calm, like near the end of the chapter, she's very calm and thankful to the reformed demons, right? For saving the children, right? And in that sense, Emma's personality is like that. She wants to, give thanks to the people that she deems to be, good people and that do good acts, right? And on one hand, close to the beginning of the chapter, she is just like, okay, I'm going to be as prejudiced as possible because I need to survive, right? Like, I'm looking at their feet, I'm looking at their body types, I think they're demons, I saw the demons kill I saw Connie's dead body, I know what they can do, like, these demons are horrible, horrible, things, right? Like, things, or are creatures, or beings, right? So Emma's like, no. Like, we need to get the hell out of here. And then it's just, and then Shirai does that, right, that pacing, right, where Emma is just slowly but surely, thinking, oh my god, like, what the hell are we going to do? We either, like, Ray, we got to either attack them or run out of here. We don't even know if the kids, are necessarily on the level in terms of how Ray and I are thinking. So in that sense, it's a really interesting chapter because, like, right, in one sense, Emma's, like, really, really panicking, and then she sort of shifts to really intense anger, right? She has this sort of shonen eye, the shonen eye that's like, hey, like, don't screw with me because I'm one of the protagonists and I have, like, the potential to be, like, a super badass, right? So, Shirai gives us that eye. And that's a really, and it's an intense anger, and even Sungju's like, hey, man, like, let's not screw, like, maybe we shouldn't screw with this girl. Or, it's more of a sort of, like, I'm impressed at the sort of, like, intensity that Emma's, exuding. Right, that's it's a classic shonen trope, but nonetheless, it's cool to see, more or less. But what makes the chapter really interesting are the shifts of emotions. It's not about whether Emma's going to be a badass in that moment or anything like that, but the fact that Emma can really sort of change her emotional state based on the situation, right? And Ray is just kind of like always on one note for the most part. He's like, yo, like, come on, like, we gotta get the hell out of here. Like, I don't trust anybody other than me and Emma and maybe the children, right? Like, that's just where he is. But I think, like, in terms of whether or not we want to believe they're not going to eat humans because of their religious beliefs and things of that nature. It's up to, you sort of have to, let's say in this world, like, you sort of have to sort of go with that, right? Because, unless, like, their religion says, like, that they should, like, unless, like, a religion in this world says that, they should eat people, you're probably not going to get on, Christian or anything like, or Christian because, they just want to pray, like, at a church or something like that. But, in this world, demons are terrible. So, for the most part. So, you have to be wary. You have to, be Emma or Ray and think, like, hey, like, are they going to eat us? And I think, like, in general, like, that's, the chapter wasn't, like, a boom, 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 boom chapter. It was more like a sort of heartbeat kind of boom. It was like, boom, 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 boom. And that's great in of itself, right? That's, like, a different way that a shonen manga can really, like, ramp up the suspense, the anticipation, sort of feeling that you get in terms of, like, excitement and things of that nature, as opposed to, like, some battle shaped chapter where, like, like, Ray's running from the demons and things like that in, like, previous chapters. But this chapter is pretty good. I mean, I think it does a really great job of leading into what's coming next, and that's something that we've all been looking forward to. We all want to know, like, what the hell happened to this world? Like, why is it the way that it is? And also, like, why are the demons sort of, like, why are some demons, like, the Musica, part humanoid, and other demons, like, Sungju, like, clearly like very much so like demon-esque, like in all of his glory, right? Like why does he look more like a demon than like musical? Like what happened? And that's where I get my theory that maybe, at some point they were some scientists screwed up. Maybe it was William Minerva. He screwed up. He tried to create he tried to speed through the human evolutionary process and screwed up, and now he's sort of trying to fix it, right? So it could be that, and that'd be interesting because then it would mean that maybe like Ray and Emma, and the children could go through some sort of like process whereby they would be able to fight the demons because of like enhancements to their physiology or something like that. But other than that, I don't really know. And I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I'm looking forward to the color pages. I always look forward to Pasuka's art. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great next chapter. And I mean, that's basically it. Like there isn't much else to say about the chapter other than it was good. Like the anticipation was ramped up. The intensity, certain types of excitement were revved up inside me because of the pacing that Shirai implements. So that's it. Yeah, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. For just to be notified of more content in the future. And be on the lookout for more videos. I'm always looking forward to new subscribers. I'm always looking forward to talking to you guys. Let me know what you'd like me to review. Maybe you want me to do a live reaction or something like that. I don't really do live reactions like that. Just because I think there's so many of them out there, and sometimes they can seem a little bit contrived in that way. But yeah, let me know what what you want me to look at. So I'm the Black Manga Critic here with another video for you, and bye bye.